La di da. Hello. Hello. Hello and welcome to Real Opinions. And today, in anticipation of Jurassic World,
and Chris Pratt, most importantly,
we're going to be looking through the original trilogy and just recapping and reviewing our thoughts on that trilogy that I mentioned just then.
Which one?
I think the most logical place to start would be with the first one.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, it's a hard film to introduce because it's
so iconic.
It's that kind of, I know it's a cliche, but it's that kind of, it doesn't need introducing. It's Jurassic Park.
People know the plot of it even if they haven't watched it.
But I think rather than introducing it via plot or anything, it's just sort of more important, I think, to introduce it for its legacy. A landmark in CGI, in sound. I think that gets overlooked a lot. I know that Steven Spielberg had Jaws and E.T., which was the former biggest film of all time, but it's still a huge landmark in the career of Steven Spielberg, which is saying something when you look at his career. It was for a long time the highest grossing film of all time. And then Titanic. I think Titanic was the film that came along and took it. So it had a good 6 or 7 years with that title. Because it's not like now where things own that title for about a week. I think it also just has like a long lasting impact on a generation. It's one of the most, like, it's probably the most, it's not my favourite film of all time, although it is in my top 10.
Yeah.
But it is the most, I think it's the most important film. It's my most important film. Because it's the film that made me.
For the history.
For me.
For you.
For me, yeah. It's like the most. It's the most, like, without that film, I think things would be quite different for me. Because it's the film that it's actually my earliest memory in life is watching Jurassic Park, and I know it's the film that made me fall in love with films. And even to this day, I watch it and I sort of feel a bit like a giddy kid. I saw it at the cinema like a few months, in summer. I saw it on the big screen, and it was really quite like a profound experience for me finally seeing it on the big screen like that. I think it's fairly self-evident that I would go with a 10 out of 10 for it because I adore it. And it means so much to me, and it's filled with just iconic moments and set pieces, and it just feels like that's how you do a blockbuster. Like, I know that you can reduce these kind of films to their technical achievements, but those special effects are brilliant. The animatronics are brilliant. And I just adore it. I really, really do. There's no anger today.
No, there's no anger whatsoever. Unlike Harrison, I never watched it as a child. I've only watched it in the last 2 years or so. And actually, like, third time watching it now for this, it just gets better. Jeff Goldblum's character is quite well written as well.
Yeah.
Like, he actually has some of the best lines. You'd think it's like the main characters, but he actually gets the best lines.
Yeah, he does.
And
that one he has about, like, when the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists.
Like, when I first watched it, I was a little bit disappointed just because it's like it's built up to be iconic. It's a bit like I felt the same way about Jaws as well because it's. Yeah,
that's another 10 out of 10 from me.
But when you watch it again and again, you realise why it's brilliant. And also, like I said, it gets better every time. And it's a 9 out of 10 for me? I'd say 9 out of 10. That's
good from him as well, isn't it? So, it means enough to me as it is. But say it came out when I was like 8 or something, and I went to the cinema to see it. I think I'd have just... I don't know how I'd have reacted. Because, like, I've only ever seen it on TV until I saw it on the big screen quite recently. Yeah. And so, I just think how much I could have adored it. I mean, it's my Star Wars, but I think like it could have been, it could still be my favourite film of all time if I maybe had that experience. With moving swiftly on to The Lost World, which is a step down.
Yes.
So it's directed by Steven Spielberg again, which is something. It's the last one made by Steven Spielberg. So actually, like, whilst the first one was based on the book by Michael Crichton. The second one actually isn't. The book was written
as
alongside.
They pressured him into writing it, and then...
but like they were making the film before he even started writing the book.
Yeah.
So the book is actually now quite they sort of. I mean, there isn't a third book, so it's sort of like we're diverting away from that. This time round, it's if you focus on Malcolm.
I'm losing examples at this exact moment in time, but when they take the character that they think,
Captain Jack Sparrow.
It's everyone's favourite character, but he works in an ensemble, and then they take it and think, this person could have their own film.
And sometimes they can't. Yeah.
And they can't.
Anyway, so he's got a daughter now, which is my thing. We'll get onto that. And through circumstances that I can't really be asked to go into, he goes to Site B of the island, which is where they basically, like, if Site A is Jurassic Park, Site B is where they make the dinosaurs. And he goes there looking for his girlfriend or his wife. He goes there looking for her, and when they get there, there's a team of, like, poachers. They're trying to take the dinosaurs to set up, like, a park in San Diego. That's the general setup for The Lost World. So I would have still been a kid, and I think I'd have seen it fairly close on the heels of seeing Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to say, like, this was a massive letdown that ruined everything.
Yeah.
I just remember at the time going, that wasn't as good.
It just doesn't feel like Spielberg half the time. That's the thing.
I think it does.
There are moments
but they definitely take steps down in a lot of ways. I think for me, the main one is actually one of the areas that it feels the most Spielbergian, in that father-daughter relationship is really grating. It's really grating, and she's a really annoying character. Would you? Yeah, she's very irritating. And the thing is, that's quite Spielbergian thing. Like, this troubled relationship with your father is a thing, and so that's actually quite Spielbergian, and it's really annoying. And she's really annoying. There's a bit. It's a very kind of iconic, stupid bit where there's a velociraptor. The velociraptors in the first film are made out to be these threatening, scary things that are intelligent, they're ruthless, they're relentless. And
also, I quite like that there's only down to a set number. There's only 3 velociraptors. Yeah. This one's just like, oh yeah, there's velociraptors. And all of a sudden, they're like fucking Laurel and Hardy. Yeah. Like tripping over everywhere, running into doors, and it's like it's kind of what they do with the battle droids in the Star Wars prequels. But the velociraptors are just tripping over everywhere. Anyway, there's this bit where the girl, who you find out early on in the film, she does gymnastics. And she gymnastics a velociraptor out of the room. She's like, does a twirly, spinny thing and kicks it, and it's just awful. It's the only time you actually see a dinosaur get killed in any Jurassic Park.
Does it die? Oh yeah, because it lands on
and it lands on spikes, and you see it impaled. You see dinosaurs kill other dinosaurs.
Oh right, okay.
Sorry, it's the only time a person actually kills a dinosaur, and you see it on screen.
True. When you see like the Muldoon, the super hunter in the first film, gets cornered by one, and
he can't kill one. Yeah, and she can. But the thing that bothers me then is that it feels like that bit is only put in there as an argument to have her in the plot. Because otherwise, why is she there?
Like, the whole thing is just stupid. That's the best word. That's the criticism for it. It's just stupid. Like, once they bring the T-Rex to San Diego, I don't have a problem with the T-Rex going to San Diego because it's like King Kong. I like King Kong. But how does it get out of the thing? They just sort of like, it's on the boat, and then the boat arrives, and everyone on the boat's dead, and you're like, 1 minute, what happened? And then the T-Rex is still in the cage and it breaks out. And what happened? There's nothing else in the boat. It's not like Velociraptors did it. And the only possible thing I can think of is that the T-Rex escaped, ate everyone, and then went back into hiding, knowing that boat was going to dock at San Diego. And it's just been sitting there going, yee, until the opportune moment to break out. It doesn't make any sense. And it's just stupid.
It's like when they get out, like it's on the docks, blah blah blah, it's just got out. And then suddenly it's in a little neighbourhood. And no one spotted it whatsoever. And it pops up by like a little kid's window.
Also, again, to sort of go back off what we were saying about the kid, Julianne Moore's character is pretty irritating, if I remember correctly, because she gets people killed quite a lot through her own sort of stubbornness.
Yeah, she's stupid. Yeah.
She's so stubborn, and innocent people die as a result of her actions. Like the people who go to help her, like the guy who gets torn apart by the two T-Rexes. Yeah. He's helping them, and like he dies. And I really feel like he didn't do anything.
Yeah. Because also, I was thinking when I saw that bit in the first Jurassic Park, everyone that dies is either
sort of deserves it a little, except for the hunter. But
he's kind of like Jackson. It's badass. And Samuel L. Jackson you don't see, so he's used as like a scare.
I know what you mean.
And then this one, the first person you see die is someone in the middle of helping someone,
and he gets a horrible death. Yeah, he gets torn apart. And I'm pretty sure someone says something really horrible about his death afterwards, but I can't remember what. I think it's like someone says something.
It's like, well, the T-Rex are fed now.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. It's just, he died for you people. I mean, you do get, but I still think that despite a lot of stupidity, there are things that I still like about it.
In the same scene as where he's trying to save someone, that bit's actually quite good.
The bit with the two T-Rexes is really, like, I like the bit, that whole scene, the noise, like, and the anticipation of it's still quite good. And then the bit with the glass, where she's, like, pressing on the glass, that's a really good bit of, like, doing some tension without actually even having the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's like the bit in the first one where there's the car swinging and they're kind of, like, upside down. And, like, it's a really good piece of tension that doesn't actually even have dinosaurs in it. Oh, yeah, the bits of the velociraptors in the long grass.
See,
that I liked.
I didn't like that much.
Why?
I don't know, it just felt like
my favourite bit.
It felt like it was just put in there because the sequel you got to rack up the body count.
I just think it's quite scary.
I can imagine it being quite scary. Also, the thing that bothered me is the fact that the next characters just run right through.
They do, that's true. And I also like another T-Rex moment in the waterfall. I think the whole thing is it's darker and it's a bit more threatening. And I quite like that, even though I like the first one more, and I like the tone of the first one a bit more in that sense of wonder. It's nice that they did something a bit different and they really went for, like, these are dinosaurs and they're scary and you should be scared of them because they kill people.
In the waterfall scene, there were two more bits where I thought, you people are stupid.
No, they're dumb.
Because the characters, they're just dumbed down from the first one. Like, in the first one, they make, like, survival ideas. Even the kids are, like, they're pretty smart.
But she hacks into the park, doesn't she?
And then in the second one, like, it's the dinosaur expert goes like, I've got a snake on me.
Yeah.
And then he goes to, like, shake it off and then gets his arm bitten off. Yeah. Or they've already been told, like, stay quiet, stay still. Vince Vaughn is there with a little girl and she's like, shh, be quiet, be quiet. They're coming back!
Vince Vaughn! Vince Vaughn does something really, really stupid in it as well. Doesn't he take the bullets out of someone's gun? Yeah. That causes everyone to die again. And you're like, you dick!
And he's just like, well, I saved the animal. Yeah, but you
killed so many people! Because isn't it a T-Rex that he needs it against?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, the T-Rex would have been fine.
Following on from what I said earlier about how it feels like it's a sequel, they're just racking up the body count. That's kind of what I didn't like about the fact that there's two T-Rexes. Because it felt like they were just like, T-Rex is
it's
really
a very
cool.
sequel-y thing. Like,
yeah, that's what it felt like.
But as a basically as like a man-child, I still go, yeah, you know what, it is cool. So I understand.
It felt a bit paint by numbers.
You're right.
That's why I said when it doesn't feel as Spielberg to me, because it feels so sequely, and it feels so I can see the plot points as
I understand what you mean.
Whereas with Jurassic Park, it obviously it's quite a basic plot, but it never feels like it never feels like one that you've seen before loads of times.
That's true. Is that the first one has those things where they kind of talk about the ethics of like what they're doing and kind of like playing God and stuff.
Yeah.
The second one doesn't really have that kind of stuff. And as I've grown older, I've come to appreciate that stuff. Like when I was a kid, that
you just like.
But now that I watch it again, I kind of realise actually there's some smart things in here. And then the second one, it's just dinosaurs. Just fine, but that's the case.
Yeah, I was thinking when I watched Jurassic Park again, I was thinking the scene when they're all talking about the problems with the park.
It's actually a good scene.
It's a good scene. I really liked that.
I like that scene too.
It was one of my favourites.
I actually understand. It's weird, isn't it? But I do get quite involved in it. Also, I like the Mr. DNA scene.
Yeah, it's just cute.
So that's the Lost World. It's messy. It's stupid. Yeah. But it has flashes of, I won't say greatness. Would I say greatness? It has flashes of something.
But I think it's let down by the bits in between.
Also, I like John Williams' score for it, because it's different to the first one. It's not as good, but it's different. Okay, so now we're on to Jurassic Park 3. This is when Spielberg has departed, and this time it's Joe Johnston. Anyway, he made, he was a special effects guy at first. Captain America, the first Avenger. I think he's solid. He has a fairly solid filmography. And now I'm thinking he might have done Jumanji as well, but I could be talking about my arse.
Jumanji.
I may be talking about my arse, but we'll look it up. He may have done Jumanji. This time we're back to Alan Grant from the first film. So we're now switching back to the same protagonist as before. This divorced couple come to him and say like, we want to kind of fly over the island because we're like thrill seekers and we climb mountains and stuff. And he's like, no, no. He just want to go back, understandably, because you see him give speeches and talks where he's like, no way in hell, no way. But they offer him a lot of money that he needs to finance his dig. So he ends up taking himself and his friend Billy. He ends up taking them with him, and they go to the island. But it turns out that actually their motives aren't what they said, and they actually want to land on the island. Or because they're looking for their own son who went missing there. And then it's same stuff. This time, I guess the plot's a little different because they're looking for someone. I think for me the biggest thing about it, when I think of it, is this time the T-Rex is not. I mean, it's there, but it's not the T-Rex that's the big thing. This time, it's this new super dinosaur, the Spinosaurus.
Oh, I think I prefer this plot to the second one.
I think I agree. I prefer the plot.
I think if it was done by Spielberg as the second one,
that's exactly what
it would be a better plot.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's what is lacking for me is the Spielberg touch. Because whilst we were saying the second one has a lot of problems, it also has those moments.
Yeah,
and they're that's Spielberg. And it means that whilst you do get some bad, you also get some good. Whereas this just feels like a comfortable.
It feels okay.
Good, it's a comfortable kind of throughout. It never reaches the highs of Lost World, nor does it ever reach the lows. But it's just sort of comfortably coasting.
Glides in the middle. Yeah.
The bit with the pterodactyls is almost a high.
Yeah.
In the birdcage, because that bit starts off a little bit creepy.
Yeah, that's why I remember being quite scary.
And like that bit's like okay, but it's a sort of
it's not a tone that they go through with the entire thing.
Exactly, yeah. The Spinosaurus as a new bad guy it's cool that it's something new, but it doesn't have the same kind of personality or appeal as a T-Rex. It's bigger, it's more threatening. They set that up by having it just sort of walk in and go, oh, a T-Rex, and it instantly kills it pretty much. And that's kind of like, okay, that's sort of cool, but it just doesn't, I don't know, it's just not as cool as a T-Rex for some reason. Again, for some reason, they just keep doing Velociraptors weird, because they give them that weird hair. Weird hair. What the hell's the hair? It's a harder film to talk about because there's none of the lows, nor is there any of the highs. It's just fine. There's a bit that I know it's a thing that literally every internet reviewer talked about because it's funny. That bit, and they're in the plane, and he's dreaming. There's a talking velociraptor. Alan!
Oh, yeah.
Alan!
That was stupid. Because it just takes
Alan.
away from the fear of the raptors. It was like, Alan.
It's just... It's actually a lot funnier than I think, actually. It's because he's sat like this. He has his hands there.
It doesn't even. It's not even like it's scary. Like he's right up to his face, about to attack him. It's like he just looks concerned. It's like Alan.
Right, shall we just move on to ratings then?
Yeah.
I feel like. Right, so for me, Jurassic Park, numero uno, 10 out of 10. You got Spielberg, Williams, and Stan Winston does the creature design effects. He's like the guy. You should look up Stan Winston if you don't know about Stan Winston. That's a proper recommendation. See he's done so much. He really deserves to be known. But you got Spielberg, Williams, and Stan Winston at the top of their game, and yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Right, first Jurassic Park, for every reason that I said before, it's just a classic, and it's 9 out of 10 for me.
Lost World, for me, see, I think I'm going to be a bit controversial here, and I'm actually going to go, because I'm a fanboy, because it has those moments that I really like, and because at the end of the day, I think if you watch it as a dumb dinosaur film rather than as a
Jurassic Park
Spielberg film and as a Jurassic Park film, it's sort of good. I'm actually gonna go for the 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm going with 6 out of 10. They're stupid.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
annoying, and if anything, it just takes away from the good moments because you just think, if they were smart characters in the same situation, I'd be like, will they still survive?
For Jurassic Park 3, I'm gonna go with a 6 because I just feel like it's just lacking any kind of like the Spielberg kind of like when Spielberg fucks up, he does like a 1941 or a King of the Crystal Skull. At least it's a memorable fuck up. You know, at least when he does something, you kind of notice. Whereas this just feels a bit like it doesn't have any of the wonder, or it doesn't have any of the wonder of the first film, nor the threat of the second film. It just sort of feels a bit good. 6 out of 10 for the third one.
I'm going to go 7 out of 10 for the third one. Just
go.
because, like I said, I didn't watch Jurassic Park as a kid. I watched the third one as a kid.
That is bizarre.
Which, it was on TV. But, don't pick on me, pick on ITV. But, no.
It's on TV a lot.
Yeah,
it is on TV a lot.
So that's why I watched it on TV as a kid. I just thought, it's dinosaurs, yay, and that was really cool. And
I think I did like that one more as a kid.
Like when watching this one back, I was just kind of thinking, I remember that from a kid. I remember that, and it just made it more enjoyable.
For all the criticisms pointed out, as a kid, I love all three, and I still like all three.
Yeah.
And I'll still watch all three. And if Jurassic World is upwards of a 6 out of 10. I mean, obviously, I want it to be great, but if it's upwards of a 6 out of 10, that'll be fine. I'll watch it all the time. I just need it to be good. I need it to be good. I want it to be great. Yeah. Jurassic World, that's...
Yeah, so we'll see you at some point to see Jurassic World.
Like and subscribe.